Hello, my name is Barry. I'm a security technical solutions architect from Cisco. Today I'm here to talk about how do we simplify security, and specifically, I want to focus on zero trust. I want to talk about how do we build a zero trust solution that is unified and effective, and also from a user's point of view, how do we make it a frictionless experience for all of our users? Now, Talos is Cisco's largest non governmental threat intelligence organization, and they had shared recently, in the last quarter, actually, we saw that valid accounts was actually the top breach factor. And what does it mean is the bad actors was able to somehow gain access to valid credentials, and they use that to get into, legitly get access to critical assets and be able to exfiltrate data or uh, start locking us out. So it is, way more than exploits that they were able to get access through public facing applications or through phishing. So I know we talked about Cisco Dual in the past, right? So it is provides zero trust solution, right, and also gives us multi-factor authentication. And on top of that, it can allow organizations to use biometrics, right, fingerprints, face ID, and whatnot, and be able to achieve passwordless authentication and get rid of passwords overall, right? So that all helps. But I want to talk about zero trust holistically, and I want to discuss, scenarios like how do our users get access to applications? How do they get there? How do we secure all of their access scenarios? So, want to break into all that details. So, before I do that, these are just some zero trust principles, right? So, the requirements for us to achieve that zero trust, it's a big topic, right? So, it covers a lot of different areas, but these are starting points where we should, start. Like, say, for example, we need to somehow establish trust, right? So, whether it's users, devices, and then we need to enforce that trust, and give them access only required for that user and device to perform um, his role. On top of that, we need to continuously verify our trust, how that user and device can still be trusted. And also, we want to respond to any change in that trust whenever a change occur. So I know it's a lot that's involved, but when you break it into pieces, and apply these to different uses scenarios, it's very easy to understand. And I want to do just that today. And I want to also introduce all the security innovations that we were making available to the users, and customer different organizations to be able to leverage and make this a unified solution and make that very simple to apply, and also make the user's experience from a user perspective. How do we make it a better experience for their daily life, right? So but when we talk about security innovations, a lot of it, unfortunately today, to a lot of different organizations, it's a bit of a patchwork. And what I mean by that is when you actually look at how do we acquire security capabilities, we usually look at like maybe Garner's Magic Quadrant or something like that, right? So we pick, let's say for example, I want spam, I pick a couple vendors and web threat and ransomware. I pick different vendors, and at the end, my security solution kind of look like a lot of patches on patches, right? So that's what I meant by patchwork. Now, this is not like marketing stuff, right? So it's actually real data from CyberDB that said, um, on average, an enterprise today use actually up to 76 different security tools. And that is crazy. Just imagine how many people we have to hire to manage all of these solutions. And on top of that, whenever we have a breach, how much effort do I have to go through to piece that together and then to be able to respond to any risks? And just thinking about how many dashboards and portals I have to go through just to take a proper action. And that is insane, right? So, but that is unfortunately reality today. So, what Cisco is trying to do, we know that we have a lot of security solutions, right? So, kind of contributing to the problem, but we're trying to change that. So, we have 27 security solutions, close to 30 solutions today that we're consolidating into three very simple security suites. And that is our user protection, cloud protection, and breach protection. I'll talk about these suites in a second, but that's just a starter. And these solutions we call Cisco Security Cloud. And what does that mean to the users, and what does it mean to ITs? I want to break into details and show you exactly how do we cover all of those different use cases and make it simple to all of these different people. And of course, there are more, you know, roles that are involved, like SOC, and we can break into those details as well. But I just want to focus on these two separate groups to begin with. Let's say, for example, users, right? What are their top challenges? Like, I'm on a daily basis, I need to get access to my applications, to my data, to do my work, right? And that is just like when I want to drink water, I open the tap and I expect water to just come out, right? I never have to figure out, hey, does this come from a PVC pipe or copper pipe or an Arab pipe? That should be all transparent to me, right? I don't need to be a plumber to be able to get access to water. But unfortunately, today, from an IT perspective, that's exactly what we're forcing our users to go through, is that they have to understand, oh, is where's this application hosted? If it's hosted in the data center and it's a traditional application, then I might have to open a VPN to get access to it. Or maybe this is ZTNA. I might not need VPN. I could do zero trust network access to get access to it. And if this is a SaaS application, or this is a direct internet, I'm just trying to browse Google, search Google or something, I can go straight. So, but I have to figure all those pieces out, right? So it's kind of like I have to be a plumber to be able to get access to water. So 65% of the users in organization, they actually, are willing to leave a job to, just to avoid this kind of headaches. So, what can we do to make our users' life easier? One thing we can do is we make it into very simple two steps. You connect, you authenticate, and then you go to work. Why don't we take all the plumbing from you, right? That's exactly what we're trying to do here, is to make your zero trust seamless to the user's experiences, all transparent to them. Doesn't matter what kind of application I'm trying to access, all I have to do, authenticate. Bam, I go to work. Just like open a tap and get water. So how does it work, right? So I could be in different places. Now I'm in my corporate network, of course, that's all trusted. All I have to do is, like I said, authenticate, right? And I can get access to all the applications. Doesn't matter where they're hosted. Either this is in the internet, or it's in my private data center. I don't have to authenticate multiple times. Just one authentication, I get all the applications that I'm entitled to access. But what if I now, get into, like, say, Starbucks, right? And I'm on a public internet, and now same thing. All I have to do is authenticate, and then bam, I have secure access to all of the same applications that I'm entitled to access through Cisco Secure Access. And those applications can even be a private application that's hosted in my private data center. So now, with that said, right? So we're dramatically simplifying my experience for accessing. Now, how about my experience when it comes to application performance? That's another concern from the users, right? Let's say Cisco is actually uniquely positioned. It's not just because that we have native integration into our SD-WAN solutions, but also we have a very robust and global network that actually have like thousands of peerings to all the different service providers and content providers, and we can dramatically improve your performance and get you from A to B the fastest. I This is not just me talking. We have actually third party performance testing results that I can share you to show you actually security can make things faster for you if you leverage our solution. And on top of that, there are a lot of new innovation that we're introducing, and I'll talk about that in a second. But on top of that, why don't we monitor the performance of these applications and tell you exactly what is slowing it down? This can dramatically reduce support calls, right? So let's say, for example, if we build Thousand Eyes into all of the users and their devices, then we can tell you exactly what is slowing you down. Is this Wi-Fi, or is this broadband, or is this the internet, or maybe this is the application itself, right? So one quick example is that now I'm trying to access, let's say, box.com, and man, it is slow, right? So it's just spinning. um, but now I'm just about to call support. But look, there's a thing that comes out that says low Wi-Fi signal. So let's look at the details here. And it says exactly, oh, your application is slow because your Wi-Fi Netgear O9 has very low signal strength. Now we can test the speed or we can contact support. But why don't we fix this ourselves? We can go to Wi-Fi and say, hey, I want to switch to a different Wi-Fi, and bam, now it says your performance issue is fixed, and now it's super fast, right? So my application loaded right away. So we can enable our users to troubleshoot those issues before they need to call support, right? So, with that said, let's quickly look at from an IT's perspective, right? So, what does IT care about zero trust? So, let's think about, if I'm an IT user, right? Of course, I want to um, secure all of my users and their devices, and want to secure all my data, and I want to stop all the malwares, and I want to monitor all my users' experience, like I showed you a while ago, right? But now, on top of that, I don't want to have so many different dashboards to manage all that, right? I don't want to have different policies for different capabilities. I want to have a same dashboard, a single dashboard, and a same single set of policies that control all of that, right? So it doesn't matter who are the users, what devices, and where the applications are hosted. One single set of policy on that one single dashboard. I want to have control over all that, right? So that would be ideal, and this is exactly what we're trying to deliver here. So for us, enabling any IT in the organization to on a simple journey to zero trust, all you have to care about is who are your users and what group do they belong to. And for those different groups, I can say, hey, these are the applications that you are identified to have access to, right? And then I don't really need to care like whether these are SaaS applications or whether they're hosted in the data center. Um, I can just say I allow you to access all of these applications, and I can easily migrate, newer applications to ZTNA, and older application or custom application. I might still need VPN to give you full access. So, but now it become transparent to the IT, and it's transparent to the user. And whenever I'm changing policies, it's all transparent. And there's no change in experience at all. And I'll show you that how our simplified policies can enable us to do this, without any pain, right? And that is secure access. That's the first thing I'm trying to introduce here, is that it is our full secure service edge stack solution, single dashboard that allow any user, any devices access from anywhere to anything that they're entitled to, whether this is something in the internet, public application, or private application. So basically, anywhere to anything. That is single stack, single dashboard, single set of policy. Now, with that said, you might be wondering, hey, what are the security capabilities that are built into secure access? I want to know all the nitty gritty details. Now, allow me to be a little bit, um, technical here, right? I'm talking a little bit nerdy here, just to show you all the pop the hood to show you all the capabilities real quick, right? So let's say I want to allow all the users access from any devices. Maybe this could be a set of managed devices, or maybe there could be unmanaged devices. We want to allow all of that, right? So, and also users when they're in the branch, maybe they don't need doesn't matter if they have a managed device or not, right? So it's the same for them because they're sitting in a branch, they're sitting in a headquarter office. So now we want to allow all of those different access scenarios, all of those users or slash devices to go through our security controls, right? So what controls do we have? We have DNS security. So on top, these are all similar to Umbrella, right? So DNS security, and we have a cloud delivered firewall. So layer 7 application firewall with full IPS and intrusion prevention system. We also have our web gateways that does SSL inspection and decryption, and we also have what we call hybrid data loss prevention. That is to be able to see like if traffic is flowing through secure access. Of course, we have access to all that data, and through decryption and whatnot, we can see all the sensitive information that's going through, and we can block them, right? But for data at rest, like if you have files that or data that's in O365 in Google Drive, we can also through out of band API integration see all of those sensitive information and stop them from being accessed by untrusted endpoints or users. So that's data loss prevention, and we also have full CASB, right, Cloud Access Security Broker, that give you visibility into more than 4,000 different applications and give you granular control over a lot of them. Let's say tenant control, right? So you can say, hey, I want to allow you to access Cisco tenant of O365 or Google G Suite, but not your personal tenant. Right, or I can say, hey, for Facebook, I want to allow you to access Facebook to view other people's posts, but don't allow you to post anything, or I don't allow you to play Facebook games. Very granular control on different applications. But of course, like I said, we want to allow users to also access all the internal and private applications. Either those are SaaS or private, or private data center. Doesn't matter what kind of protocol they are. We want to allow all of that access as well securely, right? Want to do posture and make sure these devices can actually be trusted. And that is the continuous verification of that trust as well, right? And also manage all the experience of the users and the devices to different applications. So those are all built in, like I said, to one dashboard. And then on top of that, I want to establish our connections to all of those applications, either directly to the internet, of course, to SaaS applications, and also if this is in like maybe a public cloud or my private data center or my branches, I can allow all of those different secure access to where the applications, the resources are sitting, and that's all transparent to the users and to my policy sets. And I'll show you how that works. So, in a nutshell, this is how secure access is built. And like I said, this one single policy dashboard that have access to all of these and secure all of the different access scenarios. So if these are managed devices, of course, we can have consolidate all of the capabilities into one client, what we call secure client. Now, this is the next generation of AnyConnect. As you know, AnyConnect was we announced NF Live, and secure client is the new AnyConnect, and AnyConnect is the most popular client there is. Right, we have more than 200 million deployments. That's unbeatable user base we have out there. The second comer up is missing at least a digit, right? So but on top of that, we want to make it better, so that's why we built this unified client that has all of the capabilities, not just remote access VPN, not just endpoint security. We build endpoint security into it, our EDR, but we also build ZTNA into it with all the posture capabilities. We want to be able to see the behavior of the clients and have additional visibility. We have all that, and also we are adding digital experience into it as well. So the same client can give you all of these different capabilities. So that's all implemented, to make it the user's experience way better, and also for ITs to be able to easily manage all of these different assets and users. And they're centrally managed, so you only have to deploy once, and then they're smart enough to come back to the cloud and say, hey, do you have a new profile for me? Do you have a new installer? So they're smart enough to go and update themselves, so you never have to worry about deploying them again, right? So they're basically just one-time effort. Lots of improvements. That's in a nutshell the biggest improvements. But on top of that, we allow users to do self remediation, right? So because we're doing posture and users, let's say for example, if your firewall is turned off and according to company policy, it has to be turned on. So we'll show you, hey, how do you turn it on? And if you turn it on, we allow you to access that application again. So this again reduce the need for support calls. And on top of that, I mentioned that it doesn't matter if you have an agent or not, we can allow users to access applications securely. So we actually allow clientless ZTNA. But on top of that, of course, we're doing some posturing as well, right? Like, where does the user come from, which country it is. Maybe I don't do business with France. I probably don't allow that country to come in, right? Or which browser it is, which operating system. So we allow you to do some posturing on even on managed endpoints. So, but on top of that, I want to just quickly talk about RZTNA. What are the differentiators? Let's say, for example, the protocol itself is different, right? So comparing to the TCP plus TLS, so that is a lot of overhead and it's very slow for either establishing sending traffic because the packets are just way bigger, right? So uh, we're the first vendor that are doing the zero trust based on Quick, which is, as you know, Google is using that protocol for Chrome, and they saw that it dramatically improved the performance of applications like YouTube, right? So we're using that application, and this is going to be the new standard for HTTP 3 as well. So we're the first one that leverage that for ZTNA, and that make things super fast and with all the capabilities like encryption and packet loss detection and congestion control. All of those are built in to make sure this is secure and make sure this is fast for the user. And we also use Mask to manage per application tunnels, but leveraging the same quick tunnel, right? But segregating different applications. And on top of that, um, we also allow users to be able to easily connect to where applications are hosted, like I mentioned, right? So it doesn't matter if this is a cloud application that you have either in your private or public cloud, or this is something that's sitting on your data center on premise. So very easy. You don't. This is fully automated. You can have a resource connector that goes, that sits right beside your application, and you don't even have to change any firewall policies to punch a hole to allow them to come in. No, uh, that simple. And you don't have to manage routing. You don't have to manage, even when there are IP address conflicts, in those different clouds, you don't have to worry about anything like that because it's a per application tunnel and it's built to scale. That supports full high availability and fault tolerance. So you don't never have to worry about that. It's fully automated. So lots of innovations, but what's most important to the solution is that the policies are super consolidated. Basically, for same policy set, you can control, hey, whether you want to allow your users to access your private applications that's sitting in your data center, you can do that. and you just have to tell me who are the users, what destinations you allow them to access, what security controls and posture you want to do before they have access to that, right? And then for internet access, same set of policies. You can say, hey, who are the users? What are the destinations that are allowed or blocked? What are the security controls that are in place? That's it. That's simple. Just one set of policy, right? That cover all of the different usage scenarios, but that give you very granular security control. All of the security controls that I mentioned in one of the previous slides are in here. Like they're all built into this one set of policy. So if you are an administrator, you don't have to go anywhere else. This is the only page that you need access to define all the policies for all different usage scenarios. That's a game changer. And also, for the user's performance, like I showed you, the user can see the performance and troubleshoot themselves, but centrally, the administrator can see all of the performance data as well for all the users, and it will call out, hey, what is poor for that's causing exactly that application to be slow for the user, right? So this is perfect for finding, troubleshooting and zero mean time to innocence for IT, right? So that's that. And but there are a ton of more innovations. I just want to call out maybe one more. That is our zero trust network access is actually built into Apple's devices. If you have the latest iOS and Mac OS, so if it's iPhone or Mac, you would already have our ZTNA built into those devices. So you don't have to deploy an agent into Apple devices. They provide that always on per application, per domain, um, per application tunnels, right? So for all of the applications, doesn't matter what port or protocol, it's always on. It's native experience for all the Apple users. For IT, you don't have to deploy that either. And it's super secure. It's per application. It doesn't matter where you're hosting those applications. We bring that through access securely to where the application is hosted. So this is a single layer of both encryption and connection, true ZTNA across the board without even a user agent that you have to manage or deploy. Out of the box, the Apple devices can do this. So that's huge, right? So with our collaboration with Apple, we can deliver this zero trust access out of the box for all the users, easier for IT and safe for and give you very granular control into where the users can access, who the users are, and all that information, right? So super excited that we have this kind of integration with Apple. But coming back to our suites, like I promised, I'll explain a little bit more on the security suites that we offer. Like I said, only three suites, and these are not like three sets of bundles that you have to choose the actual solutions. No, these are just three SKUs. Super simple. So if you need anything with detection, extended detection and response, that is our breach protection suite. And breach protection suite doesn't just offer XDR. It also has ransomware recovery. So that is when you are compromised by ransomware. One click of a button, you can revert to a healthy state on that device. Right. So that is our breach protection suite. And we have our cloud protection suite that protects all of your applications and workloads. Doesn't matter if they are on premise or in any cloud. We have multi-cloud defense that goes and secure all of the different clouds. And you don't have to manage it. It's a SaaS solution. And we have workload security that protects all of the different workloads across the board and it help you achieve microsegmentation. We also have vulnerability management and attack surface management to help you achieve compliance real quick. So that's a cloud protection. But what I'm focusing on today is I just want to talk about our user protection. So the main solution here, like I mentioned, was secure access, and that's our full SSE solution. But on top of that, we also have Dual built into it. We also have our email threat defense built into it. So that covers most of the user protection scenarios. And if you go with Advantage, then we'll also have our secure endpoint, which is our EDR built into that package. So it's just one set of one SKU, right? So you just have to choose whether essentials or Advantage, and it's orderable now and it's shipping October. But this single suite covers all of the zero trust scenario, all of the access scenarios to any application that your user and the devices need to access and secure them from the whole attack surface. And we're talking about stolen passwords, right? So that's easily blockable by Dual, by our secure access, and malicious websites by secure access, browser-based attacks, and secure access, right? And multi-factor authentication attack. That could be secure access dual, right? And phishing email, that's our email security, social engineering, that's dual and secure access, which both can secure you down to the only application that your users need to access, and because we continuously verify that trust, so even if you were able to like maybe get access to like a password or something because of either passwordless or multi-factor, or we're not allowing this user to access other applications, we you have that kind of security and minimize that attack surface. So that is overall how do we achieve zero trust in one simple SKU, one simple solution and one dashboard. You can achieve all that, right? So this is how do we achieve security, zero trust, really quick. So and also from a pricing point, if I can speak English, so it is way cheaper if you compare that to stacking different solutions together. Either this is third party or Cisco. It's very a lot cheaper than that one single SKU that has all of the capabilities, and that is cheaper than putting all of those solutions together. And in a nutshell, that's how we can simplify zero trust, how we can give users a really awesome experience and seamless and frictionless experience, and how we can make IT's life so much easier. If you want to learn more, please go to this QR code, scan it, and you can access our security specialists, and you can ask any questions, get a POV, get a demo. We're happy to help you. Thank you so much for your time.